Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome Natalia and Rosemary for being here at Designing Your Pre-Med Journey with the resources from AAMC. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Ana Rodriguez. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. I have a bachelor's from the Inter-American University of Puerto Rico, and a master's and doctorate from the University of Massachusetts in Amherst. I joined SHIP as a staff person in September 2019. So I've been here for a long time, and maybe before you all were born. My title is Higher Education and Graduate Program Manager. And if you want to take a picture of this slide, that is my SHIP email, my actual cell phone number if you want to connect with me, and my LinkedIn if you want to connect with me. Please feel free to don't call me, just text me, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you. So I can make sure that I have your telephone number or my LinkedIn. Thank you so much. So welcome to Passport to Grad School. This program is a monthly community for you all who are exploring whether graduate is the right next step. Each session will provide practical guidance on the application process or the school you want to apply to and what to expect as a graduate student, along with space to check in on well-being and build peer support with the other participants here. Topics may include selecting programs, preparing application material, CV, resume, personal statement, letters of recommendation, funding and scholarships, managing timelines, and strategies for balancing academics, work, and life. We have today this great expert, Kate Jackson, that will give you, and her presentation, I hope, gives you the opportunity not only to learn from her, but also learn from each other. I hope that you can connect with you two, Natalia and Rosemary can connect with each other. I hope you can gain some lifelong skills, discuss and share your thoughts on the topic, and have opportunities to continue that conversation beyond this meeting. I hope that you can listen to the speaker and say what she has to say, and the comments from all of you that you may have. You can put all of these in the chat. Please do that. Please note that the recording doesn't show anything in the chat or anything of the sort. There's zero pressure. Participate when you can and when you're able to, or you feel secure to do so. Ask questions, please. There's only two of you. I hope that you ask the questions, and please don't say I'm sorry, because there's not such thing in this space. We ask that you participate, but it's a voluntary effort that you will do. What happens here stays here. Please, I hope you keep the conversation going and that you stay till the end. So today's presentation will cover AAMC's tools and resources for pre-med students seeking to begin your medical education journey, including AAMC Pathway Program resources, the AAMC Fee Assistance Program, the Medical College Admission Test, the AAMC Preview, Professional Readiness Exam, their medical school admission requirement, the American Medical College Application Service, and their financial information resources, services, and tools called the FIRST program. Let me introduce our fabulous speaker, and thank you, Kate, for the time and the effort and your wonderful aura that you have for being here today. She is a senior communications and outreach specialist at the Association for American Medical Colleges, dedicated to empowering aspiring medical professionals like you. With a focus on preview, professional readiness exam communications, and outreach initiatives tailored specifically for pre-med students, she is here to help guide you on the path to medical school through invaluable insights and resources that support your pre-med journey. Kate's presentation, targeted social media campaigns, and tailored communications will ensure that you have the tools and knowledge necessary for success. Without further ado, please help me welcome Kate Johnson. And Kate, thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you. Yes, absolutely. I do have some slides that I would like to share. So I will share those right now as you can see. Please let me know that that's visible for you. All good? Okay, wonderful. So thank you. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I am Kate Jackson, and this is Designing Your Pre-Med Journey with Resources from the Association of American Medical Colleges. I just want to say to get started today that this is a broad overview of the tools and resources available to you through the AAMC on your journey to medical school. So as we go down through the presentation, feel free to write down any questions you have. But I do want to state that this is an overview of the content. The AAMC does have webinars that do go in depth on everything that I'm going to be sharing with you today. But this content is meant to introduce you to what the AAMC has in store. Again, we do have time for some Q&A at the end, so please feel free to write down your questions. So if you don't know about the AAMC, it is a nonprofit organization that focuses on transforming healthcare. And the AAMC works through many different avenues to support and facilitate medical education. And one of the ways that we do that is by providing services and tools to pre-med students like yourselves. So to get started today, I just want to mention that you'll need to work with your pre-health and your or your academic advisor to get started on developing an academic program that's going to meet your pre-med and your other school-specific degree requirements. So if you don't have a pre-health advisor, the National Association of Advisors for the Health Professions, also called the NAAHP, can connect you with one. You can go to the NAAHP website. I do want to say when you get there, it's going to say at the top that they don't have advisors on staff. That's true, but what it really means is that they don't have advisors that are not volunteers. So please continue to scroll down the page. They do have advisors available to you. They're just not on staff. They're volunteer only. For today, I do recommend signing up for our Pre-Med Navigator newsletter. There's a QR code here on the screen that you can use to do that. You'll be able to subscribe and view all past articles if you do, but I just want to explain that it's a monthly newsletter that goes out on Sunday, the first Sunday of the month. With information about important topics that we're having, like upcoming webinars, which I briefly mentioned, real stories from real students, interviews with professionals. We've got tips, tools, and resources to help you on your path. There's a new initiative we have called Specialty Perspectives, where you get information from someone in a specific field and what their day-to-day work is like, their path to medicine in the field that they're in. So it's a really great resource. Please do share it with your friends and your colleagues if they're also interested. It's just a quick way to get quick information. This is our Aspiring Docs resource. They're fact sheets that are one of our most popular resources because they have really easy to digest information, things about like what it's like to shadow a doctor, preparing for the MCAT exam, making the most of your gap year, what it's like to see a patient for the first time. If you yourselves are interested in sharing a story of your own, the blog does feature stories from pre-meds like yourselves, and they are always accepting new writers. I'll talk about it a little later, but we do have pre-med competencies that are necessary for getting into medical school and being successful in medical school. And one of those is written communication. This is an excellent way to showcase that. You can visit the URL here on the screen. I do want to say there's going to be a lot of URLs in this webinar. So at the end, we do have a slide with all of them in one place. So if you don't get it down during the presentation itself, there will be time toward the end to take a screenshot for all those links. This is what I was just talking about. Medical schools are moving toward competency-based admissions. This means that they're going to be evaluating you based on your experiences, based on your goals, your proficiency in the 17 pre-med competencies, which are listed here. These demonstrate your preparedness for medical school. Medical schools will use these competencies to help evaluate your readiness for medical school. So the AAMC created the Anatomy of an Applicant website to help define what those competencies are, as well as how they're demonstrated. So this is where you can go to learn about the 17 pre-med competencies, what medical schools look for in applicants in regards to these, and it also gives you some tools and examples for how to develop those competencies yourselves. So on the website, you'll also find real stories from medical students and how they demonstrated the competencies on their path to medicine. and in their medical school applications. You also get the perspectives from their pre-health advisors as well as the admissions officers who accepted them. And you'll get information about the parts of the application for medical school, as well as the opportunity to complete a workbook with self-assessments. And there's worksheets to also help you really understand and get a good comprehensive hold on these pre-med competencies. So getting experience is very important. Some people question whether shadowing a doctor is a necessary thing in order for them to be a competitive applicant. And while I do want you to know it is a valuable experience, it does expose you to patient care in a clinical setting, and it also provides insight into the day-to-day demands of a medical career. You can also volunteer, you can get an internship, you can conduct clinical research, you can participate in summer enrichment programs. So shadowing is one way to provide you with exposure to the patient care environment, but it's not the only way for you to demonstrate those skills and characteristics. So we'll talk about some of those here. I want you to know that there's real importance to gaining practical experience in the health field through various activities, right? So again, volunteer work, shadowing, lab work, research, working as a medical scribe. These kinds of experiences are going to be really invaluable for those pursuing a medicine career field. So you can use the QR code here to help you explore summer enrichment opportunities that are available to you. This is a database that the AAMC compiles. This is not programs that are available within the AAMC. I just want to make sure that that's clear. It's a free directory of opportunities that you might want to explore. So this QR code can take you to the database where you'll find opportunities for research, STEM or healthcare related workshops. There's different pathway programs that'll be available in there, career tech prep programs, internships, apprenticeships, summer programs. So you can use this QR code to find that. But I do want to say for summer 2026, most things will be either full or very, very competitive at this point. So I just want you to go in with that understanding because we're very close to summer. So once you're ready to apply to medical school using the American Medical College Application Service, which we call AMCAS, you're going to see that the process includes several components, which includes costs that are associated with your exams and your application fees. So we'll start with discussing the finances. The process of applying to medical school through our AMCAS service, that includes MCAT and the preview exam, as well as using resources like the MSAR, does involve expenses. But the cost of applying to medical school should not deter you from becoming a medical professional. So the AAMC does have the fee assistance program. And this assists those who, without financial assistance, would be unable to take the required and recommended exams, apply to medical school, and use any of the other resources that the AAMC has. So before you purchase anything, before anything is purchased, including registering for your MCAT, including registering for your preview exam, including purchasing any kind of prep materials, including submitting your AMCAS application, we strongly, strongly, strongly recommend you look into the fee assistance program. And I say before you purchase anything, because the benefits are not retroactive. So if there's any part of the process that you've purchased and paid money for, and then you apply to the fee assistance program and you're accepted, even though you'll be accepted, you'll not be able to recoup the funds you've already spent. So before you spend anything, look into the fee assistance program. You have to apply for and actually receive the benefits before you register for your exams or submit your AMCAS application in order to use the best of the benefits. So these are the benefits. This includes a waiver for one AMCAS application with up to 20 medical school designations. Students are applying to 17 to 22 schools in that range, so that covers that. You'll also get a $205 reduction in your MCAT registration fees, as well as a waiver for your first preview exam, free MCAT official prep products from AAMC, as well as a free 2-year subscription to the medical school admissions requirements, also called the MSAR. Additionally, if you plan to apply for accommodations for either the MCAT or the preview exam, financial assistance may also be available to you to help cover the cost of an updated evaluation if that's necessary. Altogether, the program can save you over $2,000 in financial support. So it's really important to remember, again, at the bottom of the page here, the benefits of this are not retroactive. So please look into this before you spend any money on anything within the AAMC, because this can help cover it in its entirety. So this is the eligibility for the fee assistance program. You can see here it hinges on three things strongly: that you have to have a US-based address. It hinges on income and also where you are in the medical education pathway. So first, you do have to have a permanent US home address and be able to share correct documents as proof. Second, you'll need to, the eligibility is income based. So the program will use the federal poverty guidelines. It's not guidelines that the AAMC set, it's the federal poverty guidelines. And every household reported on your application, so yours, and if you're under 26, your parents, must fall at or below 400% of the 2025 federal poverty guideline for your family size. We do have a chart on our website that highlights exactly what that is. So the columns will go by family size and the income size, the income amount, and you'll see exactly where you fall in that chart. Again, this determination is tied directly to federal standards. It's not a discretionary review. Third, you must be preparing to apply to medical school. So that means you can't be enrolled or already a graduate and not applying to residency. The program is specifically for individuals who are beginning the medical school application process. So I always say a good rule of thumb for applying to the fee assistance program is think back 2 years from when you wish to start medical school. So if you were looking to start medical school in fall 2028, you would be applying to the fee assistance program now. This is because once you're accepted into the fee assistance program, you have it from the date you are accepted until December of the following year. So that means today is April 20th, 2026. If you were accepted into the program today, you would have it until December 31st, 2027. That means you have all this time to use all the benefits that are available to you through the AAMC, through the fee assistance program. So it's always better to apply earlier in the calendar year rather than later, because even if you do apply and get accepted in November 2026, you'll still have it until December 2027. So you want to give yourself as much time as possible. Again, it does bear repeating that the benefits of this program are not retroactive. You must apply, be approved, and have the money before you register for your exams, before you pay for any of the prep from MCAT. Preview prep is free, but I just want to make sure that that's very clear that you cannot be reimbursed later. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the MCAT exam. So the medical college admission test. This is a standardized computer-based multiple choice exam that's going to be taken at a testing center. It does take about 7.5 hours to complete, and the exam is going to test you on the knowledge and required skills medical school students, faculty, and residents have identified as key prereqs for success in medical school and in the practice of medicine. So specifically, it's going to assess your problem solving as well as your critical thinking skills and your knowledge of scientific concepts and the principles necessary to the study of medicine. The content on the MCAT exam is divided into 4 multiple choice sections. There is no writing section on the exam. So the 4 sections are going to include 2 natural sciences sections, a behavioral and social sciences section, as well as a critical analysis section. So the sections are going to test content that are found in introductory biology, physics, psychology, and sociology, in addition to introductory general and organic chemistry, as well as first semester biochemistry. So these are going to be foundational courses that the exam is going to be testing you on, the content that is found in those courses. The MCAT, the scores are going to be released 30 to 35 days after you take your exam. You're going to get 5 scores. So 4 will be your individual section scores, those sections I just discussed. And then you'll have 1 total score, which is those 4 sections added together to create that total score. And again, that's coming 30 to 35 days after you take your exam. You'll get those scores. So many ask, when's the right time to take the MCAT exam? And the answer to that is when you're ready. So how do I find out when I'm ready? So here's a few questions you're going to want to think about to help you determine when you might be ready to take the MCAT exam. So when do you wish to apply to medical school? Many examinees will take the MCAT exam in the same year that they're hoping to also apply to medical school. You also want to ask yourself, am I familiar with the content? Do I understand it? Do I feel comfortable with the content? The MCAT exam doesn't have any required course that you need to take before you register, but if you feel you'll need more time to prepare based on what's tested on the exam, you should consider a date later in the testing year. Will I need to retake the exam? So many people don't like to think about that, but that could be a reality. help. So it's okay. I just want you to know if you think you're going to have to test more than once in a calendar year, that you should think about making your first attempt earlier in the calendar year, in the season. So that will give you time to receive your scores. So 30 to 35 days after you take your exam, and then you'll be able to evaluate, do I need to retake this exam? And then you'll give yourself time to study and have an available seat later on in the same testing year. So a few things to keep in mind. There are a limited amount of times that you can take the MCAT exam. So in a single testing year, you're permitted to take the exam 3 times. Over 2 consecutive years, you can test 4 times. And in a lifetime, you can take the MCAT exam a total of 7 times. So as you prepare for the MCAT, it's really, really important for you to use effective study strategies and to build a study plan that works for you. So you may be on social media and people may be saying what worked for them. It's good to look into different things, but you have to find what works for you, because what worked for somebody else may not work exactly the same as it would for you. Okay, so the AAMC does have free resources to help you make these study plans and decide what it is that best works for you. We do have a free guide that will help you to develop that study plan, as well as incorporate different study strategies. This resource is available for you online, so you can download it. But we also thought it would be very helpful for students to see how others tackle the exam. So we do have tips from medical students on our website. We also have an MCAT prep playlist on YouTube. We have an Instagram account, AAMC_path to medicine. And that's also got like little snippets from students about what they did, how they studied, the things that were very helpful to them on their journey for the MCAT. We also have a lot of resources and practice products to help you throughout the process. You can see some of them listed here. I do want to point out the study resources from Khan Academy, our MCAT video collection. We've got review questions, flashcards, practice questions. We do have 2 full-length practice exams that are completely free. I often say to take one of the practice exams and really put yourself in a situation like it's test day. So the exam's 7.5 hours. Sit there for 7.5 hours. We don't have the TV on. We don't have our pet in our lap. We're really putting ourselves through it like it's the test day. And then once we get the score back, then you can really reevaluate where it is I need to study more, where it is I need to really hone on it, and on something that maybe I don't have as strong of a hold on as I thought I did. And then give yourself time to actually study and take those things in, and take the second practice exam. Do the same thing. Put yourself in that same situation where it's 7.5 hours that you're actually taking the exam and you don't have music playing and the TV on in the background. Really give yourself an essential stress test during the test. And that'll help give you a better understanding of what your actual test day will be like. Again, the AAMC is here to help you. We do have a ton of prep resources that are both paid and free. So please look into those. I do want to move on to the preview exam. This is the professional readiness exam. Incoming medical students are going to need to understand far more than chemistry and human anatomy in order to provide the best care possible for their patients. You'll need to know truly compassionate care that's going to nurture your patients' minds and their bodies. You'll need to be able to collaborate effectively with multidisciplinary medical teams. You'll also need to be able to navigate emotional and ethical challenges with resilience. So the AAMC designed the preview exam to help assess professional readiness in 2 skill areas: personal accountability and relational skills. So examples of the competencies that are assessed in these areas include resilience, service orientation, ethics, teamwork. These skills, together with academic prep, are required for success in medical school. The exam itself doesn't reveal exactly how you'll behave in a specific context, but rather provides information about the extent to which you know whether a behavior is effective or ineffective. So the preview score represents the potential or capacity to learn and develop in these areas, which is a necessary precursor to engaging in effective behavior. The preview exam takes about 75 minutes to complete. It offers the convenience of testing at a private location of your choosing, such as your home, while maintaining a high level of reliable remote human proctoring. There's a flat fee for the preview exam, which includes unlimited score distributions to participating schools, and those who do get fee assistance will have this fee waived for the first exam. Please visit our website to see what schools use preview in their admissions process. There's going to be information about how participating schools use preview scores in their admissions process available in the MSAR, the Medical School Admissions Requirements, as well as the AMCAS application. There are 16 test dates for the preview exam in March through October. Scores are going to be released similar to MCAT, 30 to 35 days following your testing window, and you get your scores on the same day that they are released to the schools. The preview program also provides students with free prep resources. So all the prep for preview is free. This includes the examinee prep guide as well as a practice exam booklet. The prep guide will give advice and strategies for completing the preview exam. And the practice exam booklet has 2 full-length practice exams with scoring keys and rationales for all items. And this is intended to help you become familiar with the format of the exam, the types of scenarios that are going to be used to evaluate your understanding of the competencies, as well as the process for evaluating your responses. So I encourage you to review the Prepare for the AAMC Preview Prep page, to look at these resources and check the page regularly for updates to see not only what resources we're growing, but also to see what schools are participating or requiring or recommending the preview exam. So we do have accommodations. I briefly mentioned those for the fee assistance program, that an evaluation will be covered, but the AAMC is committed to providing all individuals with the opportunity to demonstrate their proficiency on the MCAT and preview exams, and that includes ensuring access to persons with disabilities in accordance with relevant law. So if you're a student with a disability or a medical condition that you believe requires an adjustment to standard testing conditions, we do strongly encourage you to apply for testing accommodations. We have a lot of information on our MCAT and preview web pages about application times, the time frames, the types, the application requirements, and what to do once you receive your decision. So most initial applications will get a decision made within 60 days. Just to be on the safe side, if this is something that you're looking for and you might need, give yourself 90 days, just so you're not getting right up to the window where you're about to take your exam and you need to get a document and it's going to take 2 weeks to get it in the mail, and then you're going to have to scan it to, there's going to be, a lot of little different pieces that could stress you out right before your exam. You just don't want to be in that space. So give yourself at least a 90-day buffer rather than a 60-day buffer. There are instructions for applying, as well as links to the application system, and any updates to the programs that can be found on our MCAT and preview web pages. But I did put the email here at the bottom of this slide, just in case you have any personal questions. You can reach out to this email directly and they will respond to you within 72 hours, just if you have any kind of personal question you didn't want to ask in the webinar today. So each medical school is different. I do want to state that. So on average, I did briefly mention that people apply from anywhere to 17 to 22 medical schools. That is a lot of programs to choose from. So how do you determine where to apply? So because every applicant is different and has their own story and experiences, it's important to note that each medical school is different and has their own mission and has their own culture. So you can view each medical school's mission statement and a ton of other information for free using the Medical School Admissions Requirements, the MSAR. This is a database that describes the medical school's teaching philosophies, their core values, what they're looking for in their students and their applicants. It can be really helpful to think about what you're looking for in terms of your own goals and values, and do those goals and values you have align with the medical schools that you're looking at. So the MSAR can help you make those decisions with all the information that's provided within. It can really help prepare you for the application process as well, and choosing where to apply. So when you get to the point where you're making your decision about where to apply, it can be very tempting to only focus on the academic requirements, medical school statistics. But remember, this is going to be where you're going to be at least for 4 years of your life. So there's a lot of factors you're going to want to consider. So if you use the MSAR, there's a tool, and you can search by location, MCAT score. You can search by school-specific data. There's also a function where you can save and rank your favorite schools. You can review their pre-med coursework. If you subscribe either through the Fee Assistance Program or on your own, you can view complete school data, which includes the median MCAT scores, their class sizes, their volunteer experiences, as well as medical school comparisons side by side. We do have an official guide to the medical school admissions. This is a chapter guidebook which outlines the admissions process, but it also highlights other things like the different medical career options, how to prepare for medical school, what you study once you're in medical school, and how admissions decisions are made. So we often recommend looking into this resource early in your process to get a handle on what's involved and help you develop your own application timeline. Knowing what the process holds really is a tool that you can use because you'll know what comes next in the process and you can be more prepared for it. I think it's a really good idea if you want to get a handheld calendar that you can write in and keep it by your laptop or on your desk and put the deadlines in them and make the deadlines a little earlier than they have to be, just in case something happens. So you're not coming down to the wire and getting stressed out when you don't need to be. But knowing the process is going to be a big help for you when it comes to last minute stress and things like that, and giving yourself a little time buffer as well. You can find this information all on our website. Again, these links are going to be at the end if you didn't get them all down. But everything that I'm sharing today is available on the AAMC website. So at some point, some of you may be interested in exploring post-bac or special master's degree programs. So we do have a free AAMC database about those post-bac and pre-med programs. You can look for, there's public or private programs, there's degree or certificate granting programs. You can look within specific states. You can look for programs that accept undergraduate or grad students. There's also a filter to show programs that accept DACA students. The focus on the search functionality here is strong because there's a lot of different things, a lot of different criteria that you can use to help really narrow it down to a program that's going to work specifically for you. So if you want to use this QR code, if that's something you think you might be interested in, or you know somebody who may be interested in, please use this QR code to access that database. This, again, is a free resource for you. So please look into it if you think that's something that might be helpful to you on your journey. So now we're at the point where you've taken your prereqs, you got your experience, now you're ready to apply with the AMCAS system, as well as plan for paying for medical school. So here is the information that you're going to want to know. This is a look at the typical application timeline, and we refer to this as the AMCAS application cycle. The AMCAS cycle is 1 year ahead of the current calendar year, and it's offset like this because the application cycle corresponds to when you hope to start medical school. And so the AMCAS cycle starts in May of every year. Medical schools will not begin receiving processed applications until late June. And then your process application is sent. Medical schools will begin the review process of those applications, and that usually involves a secondary application as well as your in-person interviews. So keep in mind, medical school admissions are rolling, so submitting your materials earlier rather than later is a good idea. You also need to keep track of the medical school's AMCAS application deadlines. Again, this is where that handheld calendar will come in really, really well. You can also have one in your phone, but having one, you can write it down in exactly what dates and what schools and when. And you can just look at it and have it open to those days, and so you can anticipate it. These official transcripts that are due within the AMCAS application are due within 14 calendar days from a medical school deadline. So these deadlines, I do want to stress, are very, very important, and it is your responsibility to keep track of those. The deadlines are detailed in the medical school section of the application as well as on our website. The information that's requested of you in the AMCAS application is pretty straightforward, but it is very detailed. So know that completing your AMCAS application is going to take you about a year. The AMCAS program itself is a little bit like the Common App. Many of you you may have used to apply to medical school. So you're going to complete just the one application, and then the AMCAS program itself will verify and process your submitted application. Then they will send it to your designated medical schools electronically. The AMCAS program will also distribute your letters of evaluation and your MCAT and preview scores directly to the medical schools. The AMCAS application itself has 9 sections, which you can see here. And again, it asks for a range of information about yourself, but some need a little bit more explaining than others, the ones in green. So in the coursework section, that's the center on the bottom, you're going to have to enter every college level course you have attempted or completed. So an official transcript is required from each post-secondary institution in the US and Canada. It's a good idea to request a transcript for yourself just so that you can make sure it matches. If it's been a little bit of time, you've had a lot of classes, there's a lot of data going around in your head, it's good to have a hard copy to help keep track for yourself. If you have a degree or if you have classes from other schools beyond US and Canada, I strongly recommend that you look at the AMCAS website for that information about those specific countries, because this is, again, a broad overview. This is meant to give you an overview of everything. If there's specifics like that, I really strongly encourage you to look on the website because the information you're looking for may be on there. But don't worry, I will give you my email at the end just in case. I do just want to encourage you to review the website and the information on there because usually that's where I will send you as a link to the website. Then we have the work and activities section, that's dead center. So this is the part where you're going to highlight your work experience. We talked about that very early in this presentation. We talked about the different kind of opportunities that are available to you. We had a database for the summer enrichment programs. So this is where you're going to enter that work experience, the extracurricular activities. You're also going to put in your awards, your honors, your publications. You can add up to 15 entries here, and then you're going to select 3 of those, which you'll say are your most meaningful, and then you'll be asked to reflect on those in writing. Then finally, on the right in the center, we've got the personal statement, the personal essay. This is going to take you some time to draft and finalize. My first bit of advice is to use Word to write it. The AMCAS application itself does not have spell check or grammar check or anything like that. So please make sure that you're writing it in a software that can check for those things and help you with that. It's also going to take you a long time to write this because it's going to be something where it's the first time you're saying why medicine. So they're going to be able to see your GPA, they'll see your grades, they'll see your scores. But this is the first time that the schools are going to see from you in your own words why medicine. There isn't a formula for your essay or a right way to craft your essay, but it's got to be unique to you and what your story is. Again, every medical school is unique and has its own thing. So are the applicants. That's what you want to highlight here. That's what you want to showcase in your personal statement essay. It's personal.
Yes. Kate, I have a question regarding that essay.
Oh, yes.
I know some other graduate schools are applying AI tools to make sure that essay was not constructed by AI. So what information do you have regarding that essay for medical schools? Are they looking at that same technology?
Medical schools are looking at that. Again, it depends on the medical school itself. So the AAMC doesn't really have a hold on what the admissions officers themselves are doing or how they're using that information or how they're evaluating that content. If there's a different policy from what's listed on the school's website, versus what's in the MSAR, that's something you can flag, but it's supposed to be constantly updated within both of them. So you should be able to view on the MSAR, within the MSAR database, how schools are evaluating. There's also some pages about it using our Anatomy of an Applicant website. There's some information there. But again, it really boils down to the specific school and the program itself. And there's a lot of different data going out, a lot of different reports going out about what schools are doing and how things are happening. But the best thing that we can do is get the information straight from the schools themselves rather than any kind of listening to, what's on social media and any kind of journalism that may not be coming directly straight from the source. So we do have guides and tutorials on our website. The tutorials are written and there's video tutorials as well. We've got a YouTube channel, an applicant guide, which you can see here. We have also got a ton of FAQs to help you navigate the application. Again, this is going to take you some time. It's going to take you about a year to complete the application. So really look into and research these web pages to give yourself a good idea of what the application entails so that when it comes time, you have yourself prepared. You've got your transcripts, you know all those courses you've taken. You've taken a list of all the opportunities that you've taken advantage of in the summer and in your free time, all the awards and publications you've been a part of. So that when it comes time to fill that information in, it's just old hat for you at that point, okay? We do have a fantastic career center. They can answer your questions on the phone, via email, for AMCAS, MCAT, preview. So please, please, please utilize these resources. They are free. The AAMC also really strongly recommends becoming familiar with our first program. This is Financial Information Resources, Services, and Tools. So this will equip you with tools, tips, and information that can help you to borrow wisely to pay for school, and when it comes time, help you repay those loans responsibly. So first can help you understand the financial aid process. There's some changes going on right now with different budgets and things like that. So this really can help break it down for you in a really simple way, as well as managing your finances during medical school and learning about your loan repayment options. So some of the things you'll find when you visit the first website are listed here. That includes fact sheets. These are short articles that will cover sometimes difficult to understand topics. Videos and webinars that talk about ways to pay for medical school and how to repay federal student loans. I do want to take a moment to say, for all the AAMC webinars, if you register for one, if you cannot attend live, the recording will still be sent to your inbox. So you'll be able to see it if you had to leave early or you weren't able to make it for whatever reason. And there's always an email at the end or a contact at the end. You can reach out to the presenter or the people holding that particular meeting or webinar to ask any questions that you might have. First is also included in that. So if you register for a first webinar, you can't make it, it still gets sent to your inbox, and it will be available on our YouTube channel. There's also first resources. So these include repayment charts, timelines, budget worksheets, tip cards, things that are just good for us to understand. And then we also have a tool called the Med Loans Organizer and Calculator. So this will help you organize your student loans and run different repayment scenarios so that you can see where you're at. One of the ways to help minimize financial stress is to learn as much as possible. So using the first website, I just want to make sure that the search functionality is clear. The search for just first is in the orange rectangle on the right. If you use the main search function at the top of the website, you're going to search all of AAMC. You don't want to do that because you're going to get really crazy responses. But if you just want to search for first resources, make sure you use this specific button. That's going to pull up all the financial information that's available specifically through FIRST for students. The other one will just pull up every kind of funding thing that's ever been mentioned on the AAMC website for students and for the .org. So just make sure you're using this specific search function. In addition to all the helpful information that you'll get from FIRST, we also have our financial wellness program. And this is just information that all consumers need to know no matter what field or career you go into. It's got information about topics like how to make a budget, which we all need, credit, taxes, insurance, health insurance. There's a lot of great information here, so you can share this with absolutely everybody you know. It's all free, and it's just to help you be a better financial steward for yourself. All of the resources I mentioned today are on our website. I did say that. This is a really great starting point no matter where you are. Everything I mentioned is on the website. So you can always search for more information or use the menu to navigate to topics you want to learn more about. This is our Premed resources, a screenshot of our Premed resources page. It's one of our really helpful digital tools. You can get information about the upcoming webinars, the webinars that I told you could register for, and they will still get sent to your inbox. They've got past webinars there, but we've also got quick fact sheets that you can download that are PDFs that have links in them to direct websites, direct web pages on our website to help you get information about the process of applying to medical school, about the MCAT exam, about preview. So there's a lot of good information. I strongly encourage you to get familiar with the website, search on it, look and see where things are so that when the time comes for you to actively be in the thick of it, you're not rushing or panicking or reading something that you shouldn't have read in the wrong way. Make sure you understand before you're at that stage.
Okay,
So this is where...
Before you continue, let me stop you there for a second. To be
Sure.
able to access all of the resources of your organization, do we have to be a member? Do we have to pay anything?
No, you don't. You don't have to pay anything. To access the registration, you do need to have an AAMC ID, which is free. You just go and register and you have to use your school email. There's an option for you to use like your Gmail as well, or like your Hotmail or something like that, but they do prefer the school email.
Awesome.
Yes. So if
And
you have an AAMC ID, then you'll be able to see also all the webinars you've watched in the past. So you can say, man, I think I may have watched this MCAT prep webinar before the 2026 version, and now it's 2025. So you'll be able to see information like that if you use your ID.
okay, and one more question. If I apply for an assistance of money for the MCAT or anything of the sort, is that a, do I have to put that in my taxes? Is that a scholarship? So of, because we did a resource of the scholarships or grants that we get, how we need to put that into the IRS. So whatever info
Yeah,
you
so
have on
we
that.
we have the fee assistance program, and if the person applying is under 26, it's going to take into account the parental financial tax information, regardless of emancipation or marriage or anything like that. And then if you are accepted into the fee assistance program, you get the complete benefits of the fee assistance program. But it wouldn't be something that you would retroactively put on your taxes, but your taxes are used to determine if you can be in the program.
Okay, thank you.
That- Okay, yep. These are all the links that I mentioned today. So if you want to take a screenshot, please feel free to do so. It's got information about the fee assistance program that we just spoke about, MCAT exam, preview exam, the MSAR, then just the general website, aamc.org/students, our financial wellness information. So please take a screenshot. And then I also want to mention that we do have social media. We do love to hear from students. So we really want to hear from you on social media. See what it is that you're looking at and where you're getting your information, because there's a lot of voices out there. And we want to make sure that you're listening to authorities on the topics rather than just somebody who says they're an authority. We do have this Instagram channel. We do answer people. So if you have a quick DM you want to send us, a response in the messages, we would love to hear from you there. And then again, phone, you can call us, reach out to the AMCAS program directly. My email is on a slide here as well if you'd like to reach out. But I do want to thank you for your attention tonight and wish you good luck on your journey and open it up to any questions. And I can also go back to a particular slide if you're interested in that.
Yeah, so hold on, let me stop the recording and Natalia and Rosemary, please feel free to share. Stopping the recording.